Good morning, good afternoon. Comment allez-vous? Comment ça va? I'm going to have to start writing down greetings. I can't memorize all those greetings in all those different languages. And you know how we old folks are. We forget things. So decided to read from my book, The War Has Begun. Now, as I indicated to my listening audience, I will be publishing a book entitled "The War Has Begun," and this is a futuristic book. And in all my books, I have my own illustrations. So if you decide to purchase my books, you'll find that my books are quite colorful. I tried to put all types of illustrations in my books to make the book more interesting. So this particular book has a lot of will have a lot of illustrations because what I'm basically trying to do is to go into the future. So in this book, The War Has Begun, I go 200 years ahead of us. And of course, you know, it's fiction. And it comes, and by being fiction, we know that it is fiction. It's basically not true. But maybe it may be true, but it is fiction. And it's called The War Has Begun. I'm going to read a few pages from the beginning of that book, and then I'll make a few comments. The war has begun. Humankind does not strive to reveal hidden truths. Rather, it strives to acquire hidden truths, only to hoard them. Mankind only strives for himself or herself and recognition. So the Martians had come, and they will continue to come until humankind, as we know it, would become extinct. Joel discovered Kushbu, the Martian, on the ship. Discoveries are realities which already exist, and it just takes a mortal mind to realize it. It was not in his power to justify anything. It was only in his intuition. In realizing that Martians do exist. Joel found that there were plenty of discrepancies which harbored within the minds of human beings. His exploration into clandestine amusement had placed him into a pseudo reality. Most humans fail to go outside certain constraints where the real truths lie. The human being rests comfortably within realms which pose no threats because we become victims of our own diabolical schemes. An effect is merely a result. With results come conclusions. This is where all the problems begin. Conclusions can be fallacious. Those are the very first paragraphs of that particular book. And as I read it, I'm saying maybe my audience may not follow me. Uh, so I'm going to go down a little bit and read some more, and then I'll make a comment. They were angry on earth. The black folks were getting ready to take over. And the Martians knew that this was the best time to make a major invasion. The Great War came. Blacks against the whites. The Martians were watching them. But the white folks had another trick in their bag. The virus. The pharmaceuticals had determined the modern the pharmaceuticals had undermined the modern civilizations all over the earth. No longer was the world ruled by edicts of political philosophies. These technical intellectuals had become methodological scientists, only interested in pseudo scientific forces which would increase their camaraderie. This radical social implementation aggravated the racial struggle throughout the whole earth. And all this led to a racial on earth. And the Martians watching them. So I get into a sociological thing. I get into the issue of race. But we are 200 years ahead of this century. And now the blacks and the whites on earth have decided to fight each other in a war. But the Martians, the Martians, uh, the Martians are observing them. So I get into a lot of stuff in this particular book. Some of it is like adult entertainment. But if you go into my books and you got a bad mind, you're gonna see things as being bad things. But you have to read them. If you open my book, any of my books, I would suggest read the whole book and just don't put it down when you come to a passage that you say, "Oh, this is just too much for me." So this book, I'll probably do some more reading on this book. It's called "The War Has Begun," and it takes place in the 200 years in the future. So That's my book reading today. For my reading audience, I would like you to know that I have, guess what? I got an offer. I have a contract offer. Yes. What happened is I was going through my email. I was going through my email uh, last night, and I scrolled down, and there was a publisher. I don't know how I missed him, but I have been offered a contract. But the thing is, okay, if you want me to sign a contract, please say to me that if I'm interested in signing a contract with you, and I would pay you what, $50,000 up front, something like, say something like that. Don't say to me that you have a contract for me and you don't give me a numeric number of what you will pay me to publish. I guess for me to give you the right to publish my books. I'm a publisher. I can put my books on the internet. I can publish an ebook. I can publish a paperback. I can publish a hardcover. What you need to do, if you want to publish my books, just say, Musa, here's a contract. I will pay you $50,000 out front, and we can go on with the procedure. You're gonna say to me, I have a contract, and you don't have a money offer for me. I do the same thing. I publish books. I publish my own books. I advertise my own books. I write my own books. I do the whole work for my own books. I'm only trying to share with you. I'm only trying to share with you. My goodness, I have published hundreds of books, hardcover, paperback, ebook, and I do my own, and I can advertise my books. So I don't look. If you are a publisher or you are an agent, and then you want to say you want to talk to me about my books, you got to say to me how much you're going to pay me to have the rights to publish my books. You know, how I think of how the things that it, I don't know. I don't want to make it a black thing. I don't think it's necessarily a black thing. I think it has to do with a sociological corrupt thing. I've read many books and I say, how did this guy get this book published? I mean, how did he? And he gets this guy he gets a major contract and he makes thousands of dollars on these books. And you're gonna say to me, "Oh, I can offer you a contract, and maybe you can help us out on it. You can help us uh, publish your book." I publish my books. You go to the internet, all of the books that that are on the internet, all of the books that are in Amazon bookstores, I publish those books. So if you want to publish my book as an agent or as a publisher, tell me how much money you're going to pay me. My goodness, I'm an old man. Look at us, all these old people in the world doing foolish things. Look at what the president of the United States. These foolish. I'm an old man. Well, this, I'm not out there doing foolish stuff. Just writing books, and the books are good. I got my. You write. Look, I heard from another publisher. Oh, your writing is so good. Your writing is so good. Your writing is great. Offer me some money, honey. So that's where I'm at. So if there's a publisher or an agent who wants to just take my books and run with it, so come on, offer me a contract. And if you're listening to this broadcast, put it tell you what, put it in comments. Say, Musa, I have a contract for you. I will pay you out front. And then I'll get in touch with you. This is Musa MattmeachamJR, signing out on Earth.